Hey everybody, it's Nina Motivates. Hey everybody, oh my goodness, you all, we are at episode 45, 45 shows, brand new shows, right here on the You Can Show. And I'm so excited. Why? Because this is where you come every single week for your weekly dose of faith, fuel, and fire. Yes, we got to light them pallets for you to know that you absolutely can. Your dreams can come true, and everything that is within you is meant to come out. And today we have a very special show for you. I have a very special guest, and she is going to prove that you can speak. I have so many people that come up to me and talk about how they want to be speakers, how they want to speak, how they want to tell their story. They don't know how to get started. I've had people ask me, hey, do you teach? No, I have the gift, but I don't teach it. Okay. But guess what? I have a very special gift for you all today. I have someone here who does teach it, who does it very well. She sings, she commands the room. Even, I saw this beautiful soul in a time where she was really dealing with some things that you couldn't tell because she owned the stage. She didn't allow anything you would have never known anything was going on in her life because that's how much of a gift she is to the earth realm and to when you hear her speak or get a chance to hear her sing. She come as a package deal, okay? And she has pulled me up to a place where it's, honey, know your worth when it comes to charging for speaking. So I'm gonna just get right into it, reading her bio. I feel like I did my version of her bio, but I'm gonna read her accolades, okay? Because she's a wonderful woman. And again, I'm so sorry. I got so excited. I didn't even introduce the show. Thank you for listening to the You Can Show, either on ICU Radio 97.3 or on YouTube. I appreciate you. This is Dr. Nina Addison, and you're about to meet Dr. Michelle Mraz. She is a powerful voice in transformational leadership and authentic storytelling. As CEO of Mras Incorporated, she has built a global platform that elevates personal growth and executes coaching, executive coaching. I'm going to correct myself. A survivor of human trafficking, traumatic brain injury. I'm pausing for a reason, y'all. Breast cancer and stroke. She transformed adversity into wisdom that inspires leaders worldwide. A multi-time international best-selling author and award-winning TEDx keynote speaker, her talks have reached millions. As a speaker and communication coach, she helps professionals develop presence and clarity. Also, a recording artist. Come on, y'all. For my young folks that be watching me, clock that, okay? Y'all know we do the clock that thing, all right. As a recording artist and creative storyteller, she champions authentic expression. Named a United Nations Ambassador of Peace, Dr. Mraz empowers others to embrace their voice, own their story, and create meaningful, lasting impact. Her bio just preached itself, but I introduce to some and present to others this beautiful, beautiful soul, Dr. Mraz. Thank you for joining us. Oh my goodness.
Thank you for having me. It's really weird to be sitting here while you're reading all that. It's like, who is that lady?
A dynamic lady at that. Just even listening to, looking at, and reading, and you saw me pause, like, wait a minute. Even though I've read it before, it's like, I guess reading it in front of you, it's like, yeah, she did endure human trafficking. She didn't have a brain injury, like, but look at you. Look at you. So I'm gonna be quiet because they need to hear your voice. Tell the people who you are in your own words.
Oh my goodness, I am Dr. Michelle Mras, and what I do is I'm a confidence builder. That's really what I do. When I say I train executive speaking, it's confidence. So executive speaking is owning who you are, being unapologetically you, showing up in your story and being able to tell it from your heart so that people connect with your story so they can grow from that story.
I mean, I just want her to talk. I don't even want to go through questions. I just want her to talk. Now, I read your bio. In your bio, you talked about some of your background, some of the things you've endured. Can you tell us a little bit about your background story and even how you became who you are?
Oh my goodness, we might need a couple hours, but well, I'm a military brat, so I grew up in the Philippines in my mother's home country, and so I've seen the world from a different perspective. I grew up in a third world nation, and then came to America when I was 15. Not just America, Nebraska. So I went from an island world to Nebraska. Now, the reason I want to share that is because people think, oh, Nebraska, nothing ever happens there. It's pretty boring. No, it's not. I love the place, but it's where I was human trafficked. So I got taken while I was there. Now, that is important because I thought that was the worst time of my entire life. It pretty much is the worst time of my entire life. But because I managed to survive that, I truly believe because I survived that, when later down the line, when I endured that traumatic brain injury, I'm missing my frontal lobe over my left ear, the back of my head, my two hemispheres disconnected. Being trapped in my mind, breaking down those walls. So all of that stuff that happened to me when I was in college came back out. All the anger, all the fear, everything.
Yeah.
And I had to address it in my mind by myself. And no one knew that it was happening. I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything.
Wow.
Now, the reason I say I share that bit of it is because that is why I am who I am. When I had to sit in the dark of my mind and fight with every inner critic that said, I should not live. Think about all those inner critics you have that say, you're not good enough. Why do you think all those, they all came at me with that side bonus of the human trafficking experience. So all the fear. And I had to argue with these things in my mind. And so 2.5 years later, when I started walking and talking again, I went for counseling and I started talking and trying to get that out of my head and evaluating why I was feeling the way I was and basically going through the muck of this is real, this is not real, this is real, this is not real. And as I was doing that, I became incredibly sick again. So that's when I found out I had breast cancer. And in my mind, that breast cancer developed because of all the trauma I was holding inside of me. And I believe because I had those experiences and then had breast cancer, again, I had to go inside and say, who am I? First, I had to force through my mental blocks. And then once I got through my mental blocks, and I have to understand, I didn't move for 2.5 years. I was close to 400 pounds when I woke up again. So when I woke up, I had to then address the physical side of me. So mental, then physical. Now, in order to address my mental and my physical, I also faced my mortality. And in that mortality decision of accepting that there's something more than me out there, I found that spiritual aspect, mind, body, soul. And that is what helped this woman become who she is. The old woman thought, the older version of me thought, I'm all alone in this world. I'm not worthy. Coming through all of this and seeing the other end, I realized I'm not alone. And that all this time I thought I was alone through this terrible journey that I've been going through and reliving, that I had this huge entity protecting me all along,
Yeah.
carrying me through all of it. And I went, wow, I can be far more braver in this world knowing that God's got my back.
Come on.
So I've become this woman because I walk in faith. I believe, I know, and I am not afraid. Some of the times I go out and do, really, God, you really want me to go that way? But I go, right? I
Yeah.
go. That's why I am the one I am. I am unapologetically me because I have embraced the gifts and the woman that God put me here to be.
My God. Oh, I got chills listening to you talk. Like seriously, I have chills. Like, my goodness. And I mean, and that was just some of it. Cause like you said, then you had cancer, then you had a stroke. And
I
I
had
think,
9 strokes.
wait a minute. Mm, did y'all hear that? 9. And you,
One big one. One big
yeah,
one. 8 little ones.
but you still, you don't let anything stop you. You know, and this is what I love about the two words you can. You know that you have purpose. You have, I mean, oh, you just said it. You just literally spoke a whole book in just a few minutes. Literally. You literally to me spoke a whole book in a few minutes because people use so many excuses. Oh, I'm not fit, or oh, I can't. I mean, you went from not walking, not talking. You said 400 pounds. And if you're listening to this on a radio show, you're gonna have to go on over to YouTube and look at her over there, okay? Because she is beautiful. I mean, I bet she's beautiful at 400 pounds too, okay? Her beauty didn't stop. But you will be looking like, how did you? There's no way you were 400 pounds. But she was, right? And then you do all these other things. And I have, like I said, I have so many people that want to speak. You couldn't speak. But once you started speaking, now, you go and transform rooms like there is no tomorrow. And it comes naturally for you, I believe. And you teach people. But for some people, they have this story, but just letting it out don't come natural like it does for everybody. And I think you and I, we probably can talk forever and inspire forever. But what would you say to the people where they know they have a story, they know they can change someone's life, but it just doesn't come natural to them?
So think about this. I went from not talking to training, igniting trainers. Basically, I ignite the people I train, and they come onto stages bigger and brighter than they ever thought they could. And so, for those of you who are out there thinking, I can't do this, I really want to, but I'm afraid, I started with a 16-second memory. So, if you go to my website, michellemras.com, you will go to videos, look for my TEDx. It should be the very first video. I had just come out of my brain injury. I had just started walking. I had a 16-second memory, and I did a TEDx. It's what ignited my entire speaking career. If I can do it with only a small portion of my brain working at that time, all the more you can. You can. The only thing that is stopping you right now is your fear. Now, here's the fear aspect. You only fear because you don't want to disappoint. It means you care.
Oh, that's good.
Do it afraid. The only way you're going to get better is by speaking more. Just keep going. If you want to do it more and do it well, reach out to me. I do an online class. You can be anywhere. I only do that class once a month. I do a virtual one once a month, but I do an in-person one in Vegas with Tigo. So that's the other thought process if you ever want to go bigger, better, and in person. But the power of storytelling, I always say, with the ability to speak, it's like a Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. With
Mm-hmm.
great power is speaking comes great responsibility. You as a speaker, as a storyteller, you have a obligation. One, because God told you to start sharing it.
Come
One, to do the obligation and do it because he wants someone to hear you because you're supposed to be saving somebody. Two, your obligation is to not cause harm when you share your story. If I
on.
share my other stories, some of my traffic stories, I need to know what I can share and how to share it so I don't traumatize the people who are listening to me. See,
Yeah.
that's the thing about storytelling. Some people think I have to tell it all or it's not the truth. No, there are things that you should be pulling back and alluding to because I can tell you most people's imagination is far worse than
Yeah.
most things that happen to us. Okay. So I train people how to craft their story so that it's more impactful with less words. You can say it in 5 hours or you can say it in 30 seconds.
Mm.
That's the power of storytelling. And that's what I help with. And then I also help with the intonation and how to move on stage and all of that. That's how I got into singing.
Yeah. So how do people, and of course, Y'all listening to the radio show, you're going to have to go over to YouTube because all of her links is going to be in the YouTube video description. You're going to want to go and click on it. I know y'all like, where can I get it? Right over on YouTube. Nina Motivates on YouTube if you're listening to ICU Radio, because I know that is live. And so you want to go ahead and go over to YouTube and say, and grab her website, okay? You say you do the training once a month. Can you tell us a little bit about that training? What is it like to be a part of the training? How much does it cost and how do one sign up?
Okay, it's only the second Thursday of every month from 9 a.m. to 10:30 Mountain Standard Time. As it expands, because I stopped all my classes and my class has been demanded to start again. So it is on again. And I like small groups. So I won't let more than 10 people and then I'll start another group. Okay. So if there's a whole group of people that's in Chicago, I will do a special group for them for their time zone. That's how I work. I'm very, one, hands-on, you know that. Two, very interactive. And then three, it's only $199. You can't touch me for $199 normally, but because it's a group effort, my thought is when I train one person, let's say you're coming in and you've got a big speech to deal with, we'll go through your speech and I will help you with that. And while I'm teaching you, everyone else is learning. And then, so I will do a general and then I'll do a specific. General, then specific. And that is why the reason I do that is because I have a lot of professional speakers in my group. And so they're already on stages and they'll come on and do, Michelle, I know we have that general thing, but I've got this very particular group I'm talking to next week and they're kind of freaking me out. Help. And then I will say, everybody ready? Because we're all going to learn. And then I go into theirs.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And people that know, those of you who are listening, who have, I know I got some new listeners every week. Thank you, new ones. Thank you. Keep on coming back every Monday at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to ICU Radio, as well as over on YouTube. Nina Motivates is the page. Keep on coming back. Keep on sharing. Now, I know y'all have some friends, family, fans, followers, some you call frenemies, whatever you call them, that you like, oh man, I know this person got a story to tell. They just need somebody to help them craft it. Well, here you are. You have someone that's saying, hey, I can help you. You also have a book collaboration that you're putting together as well.
Oh, yeah. Hold My Crown. Women of Grit Share Stories of Resilience, Part 2. I already have Part 1. That was my first collaboration. So part 2 is coming out, and I'm actually looking for at least another 10 authors. So here's the other thing I'd love to let your audience know. If you want help creating your story and join my book, we'll do twofold. We'll be doing the book, crafting your story to put in the book, and then I also will help you craft your speaking of that story. Everyone in that book has to be able to speak. So everyone in that book is on that second Thursday call, because I'm a speaker and I'm an inspirational speaker. And I bring people onto stages and I carry my authors with me, is what happens. So if you want your story and you want to know if it's worthy enough to tell the world, one, yes, it is. Two, let me help you. Three, it's all part of the deal of purchasing into the book.
And so you get when you purchase into the book, I want y'all to hear this clearly. You purchase into the book, and it's almost like, hey, I didn't hire her to be my temporary coach. So that
Basically,
is
yes.
a wonderful way to get you. Because I'm telling y'all now, ever since she told me about the book, I'm like, okay, yeah. After I interview her for my show, yeah, because I don't think I've signed up for too many book collaborations this year. Yeah, I think that book will be wonderful. So,
Well,
y'all will
and
get to be a chance to be with me too then.
yeah, well, and Nina, you know I do nothing halfway. So if you're watching or listening, if you go to my website, you heard my bio. I don't do anything halfway. My belief is I'm going to get to those pearly gates at the end of my life, and I want the gates to open, and I want all the angels to do, oh my, she used every gift. She is empty. I'm coming in empty, and I'm bringing everybody with me full force. We're all going. And that's how I work. So if you want to be part of the book, remember, we don't drag feet, and we're all in, and we support each other. We spread the news about each other, and we uplift. And so in my world, when I'm asked to speak somewhere and I can't speak, or I've got someone who has a better story for that group of people, I will pull them from my authors of my book and say, you need to talk to this person, and send their bios. So I'm a connector in that way too.
And let me share something with you all. I do this. I invest in myself. And what she has done here is give everybody a gift, in my opinion. Because if you are like, man, I want to speak on stages and I want to be an author, because you cannot be a speaker and not have a book. Okay. And here you have an opportunity to be in a book that you don't have to write the whole book by yourself. And everybody that's in her book, their audience become your audience. Y'all know I'm an advocate for book collaborations.
Mhm.
I am an advocate to, because it opens opportunities. And when people get in a book, they don't realize that you don't even know who all you connecting to. You
Oh,
don't know who's the
you
open,
will in this one.
yeah, like the open door to your next.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And if
I know I'm in. So
good, because
it's only 9 more spots.
this is what the old cover looked like. This is the
And that
first
is
book.
beautiful.
It's my real crown too. So we're still designing the second cover, but it'll be some sort of a crown. We like clasp, right?
You said
Hold
that's
my
your real crown.
yeah.
Now you got to tell us about the crown.
Well, when my ladies and I we first started this book, it was because we were building a conference, just speakers. So I had them all come out to my cabin in Colorado, out in the mountains, and we wrote our stories for the book. And in the book, we went, well, not for the book, we were going to do it on a speaking tour. And they went, I said, we should do this in a book. And they do, what are we going to call it? I said, we need something like a man's version of Hold My Beer. And so we were laughing in the cabin. And one day, one of the gals is like, for those who were seeing, she says, you have a crown. Hold my crown. I'm going to get a little messy for a little bit. And that's how the name came about.
Wow, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, I mean, this show is so powerful because when I people may not have your story, but they have a story. They may not have had a brain injury or been trafficked. Let me just say this. So many people, because that's one of my prayer points most days. I will wake up and I will pray for the children and the adults and the people that's been trafficked. And I will pray for God to confuse their language of the traffickers, just like he did when they were building the wall of Babel. And then to find out that that was something that you dealt with, that was just like, oh my goodness. Like that story in itself. Is that in one of your books? Because I know people are like, I want to know how she got. See, okay, now tell us about that book. Come on, come on.
This is
She has multiple.
yeah, this is my 39th book. It's called Faith in Motion, 13 Steps Survivor's Guide for Thriving in Your Life. And so I did this one. It actually started as a collaboration book. I was in 13 separate books based off of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And each of the 13 steps of Napoleon Hill uh, are broken down into different books. Well, my publisher took my chapters from all 13 books and stuck them into one because I've never told my full story in any book. Well, I was telling my story in different chapters of each of the different books. And so he
Wow.
put them together, and it's the only place where pretty much my whole story is in one book, which is why I'm so in love with this new book.
So, and that's her newest book, right? And so you all have to go to her website so that you can grab the book, okay? I have, I believe, the e-version of it, but I like paperback books too. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
have to
just
get
got
the
my
paperback.
paperbacks. I
Yeah.
just got them yesterday. So
Yes.
if you order, they will have an autograph on them and I will mail them to you.
Yes, so y'all hear it. You might as well go and get it before she run out and have to order some more. Because like I said, I always have Kindle books, but I'm like, I love paperback books. I love to touch the
My
book.
dentist just bought half the stack I bought.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good dentist. That's right. Because
He likes my teeth.
you spend a lot and it got pretty teeth. um, oh my goodness. Okay, we discussed the books, we discussed the program. You have so much going on, and I don't want to miss anything. Is there anything I'm missing?
Well, reach me. You can go to my website. It's the best way to reach me. Just go to my website. It's my name, michellemoross.com, and just click on something. And if you can't find me, then go to YouTube and write a message. Either way, if you're going to go on Facebook, whatever you do, if you write me, I'm the one who answers. So even my virtual assistant will say, Michelle, you need to answer so and so. So don't worry, I won't lose you. Just write me. The only other thing I can think of that you missed is we haven't gotten to why I sing, and how I put out an album.
Yes, come on.
I was doing one of my speaker boot camps. I do boot camps. So I'll have 20 people in the room and I'll train them and we'll do all the fun stuff together for 3 days. And I was on stage testing the mic one morning and a man walks in. He said, you can sing. And I said, no, sir, I'm a karaoke singer. And he said, your speaking voice is a singing voice. I can hear it. And I said, well, thank you, but I'm a karaoke singer. And he
Wow.
said, come into my studio when you get a chance. Well, I ignored him. A couple of weeks go by. I'm at another boot camp. He walks in. He says, why have you been in my boot camp? And I said, I don't even know who you are. And he said, have you ever heard of a little group called the Commodores? And I
Wow.
said, I would have had to live under a rock to not know who the Commodores are. And he
Right.
says, I'm a founding member. I'm their keyboardist and I'm their music director. Get in my studio. And then my business partner said, she'll be there. And then the next day, I walked over to his studio and he starts playing on this grand piano. He says, so, Michelle, start singing. Whatever you hear, just start singing. And so he was playing and he was changing songs and I just kept singing. And he said, do you know you got perfect pitch? I said, I've been told. And he said, I want to make an album for you.
Wow.
So he composed 3 songs. They're older songs, Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell, Summertime from Porgy and Bess, and Don't Get Around Much Anymore from Natalie Cole. And he orchestrated them, played them, all the instruments in there except the saxophone. That's my brother. And he produced an album for me and I put it out. I launched it in Dubai on a yacht. It was lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. Sold over like 900 copies of the CD already, but I'm about to make another one. I have to be writing my own songs. And that's
Wow.
a new one for me.
Do y'all, you are just so awesome, Michelle. I mean, you just so, I just love you. I'm hugging you like through the camera right now. So hugging you like, wow, that is awesome. Where can someone find your CD?
Everything's on my website. Remember, I had a brain injury, so I
Mhm.
had to make things very, very simple for myself. I couldn't
Mhm.
have multiple places because I wouldn't remember them. So
Mhm.
they're all on my website. When in doubt, find my name. I'm the only Michelle Mras. Well, one's a volleyball player and the other one's a porn star. So you'll be able to find me. I'm the one with the voice. And
Right.
then everything's on my website.
Wow. Oh my goodness, she is so awesome. I feel like we almost don't need this last part, but I gotta do it. Every show, the last thing I ask everyone to do is to leave the audience with the you can moment. This is your time to inspire them however you feel and let them get a little taste of you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I always love to say Maya Angelou's quote because it kept me going for years of my life. You ready for it?
Yes.
I have my own quote too, but I like Maya's. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Maya Angelou. The reason why that quote is so powerful to me is because basically you can in every statement. You can with your emotion. You can with thriving and living in life. You can being uniquely you. You can by being the woman you are. And so the other one I love to do is Phenomenal Woman. Go look that up because it's in the stride of my hips. Just the way she reads is just so powerful to me. Now, the quote that kept me going through my brain injury and my breast cancer was a reminder that I wrote in my head during my brain injury. You ready for it?
Yeah.
I wrote, change is an emotional journey. It's not rainbows and butterflies in a field of daisies. Change is uncomfortable, but it forces you to evaluate who you are. The beauty is in the possibilities. And the only reason you will have possibilities if you can believe just for a moment that you can. The next thing, next step is magic. Just keep taking those steps in those cans, and you'll realize you don't just can, you did.
Oh, oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, if you are listening to this on ICU Radio, you got to go over to YouTube and grab the link and share it with all your friends, fans, family, followers. Share it with yourself. Text yourself and say, Self, listen to this again, okay? Listen to this again. Michelle, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for pouring and for sharing and for providing opportunities and for allowing those who constantly say, because anytime somebody come to me and say, oh, I want to speak, go listen to that show. Go listen to that show because you have proven to people that they can. The help is here. She's the help, y'all. And she the help that's gonna take you from where you are to where you want to be and need to be and deserve to be. I
Oh,
thank you because you have definitely been a blessing to me in more ways than one. And you know I love you already, and I can't wait to see you in a couple months.
same.
and and all of the things that you do. Thank you for pouring out. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for you said my favorite quote too. I always tell God, I'm gonna leave this world empty of everything that's within me. Why leave full when you can't do nothing with it after you're gone? So thank you and thank you for sharing you with the world through the You Can Show. If you all are listening live or via the replay, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. And I know you grew, so leave a comment. Leave a comment on YouTube so we know that you are here. And I would definitely share all the comments with Michelle to make sure that she know that you all are on fire. Go check out her website. Grab a book. Grab the books, okay? Grab her CD. Stay tuned for the next CD. And if you know that you are called and you're ready to be an author and a speaker and learn from one of the best that you can learn from, you go on to type that website. Go, tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Because I don't want you in my inbox talking about what you want to do. And here it is. You got the opportunity to do it. Because I'm going to say, no, you don't. And y'all know I like to keep it real. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to the You Can Show. And until next time, you all always remember that God put it in you. Therefore, you can. That's all we got. Have a good one. Talk to y'all later.